Me and alcohol have had a long and rocky relationship, not unlike some of my relationships in real life back in the day. I loved them a bunch, they didn't love me a bit. And with my focus on health the last few years, I thought it might be time for me to take a step back and re-examine my relationship with alcohol. So in my private Facebook group, I did a dry January challenge, mostly for myself, but I found it was really helpful for a lot of people. There were a lot of people in on the challenge, but more people than that would private message me, email me, and just let me know how helpful it was to them that I was doing this challenge. Before I started the challenge, I wanted to come up with something that could replace that alcohol, help me relax at the end of the day, and most of all, be a much better and healthier alternative. So whether you're wanting to end that one-way relationship with alcohol, or you just want something at night to help you relax and go to sleep, and probably sleep better than you ever have, I hope this helps. Stick around. There have been a lot of studies done, especially lately, about the effects of alcohol. One of the most recent ones links alcohol to cancer, so that's something that I really want to cut down on in my life. Now, I'm not saying I won't have the occasional drink anymore, but what I don't want is for it to be a part of my daily life. As you might know if you've been watching my channel for a while, when I do something, I go all in on it, and alcohol is no different. When I can drink whiskey and bourbon like I drink beer, there's a problem. So I decided to come up with this recipe based on my knowledge of herbs, holistic medicine, and the need to have something to replace the alcohol and help me sleep better at night. Even though you may think you sleep better with alcohol before bed, the reality is it disrupts your sleep, it interrupts your metabolic functions that happen naturally during the night, and depending on how much you've had, you may wake up feeling terrible the next day. This recipe is not going to do that. Let me show you what you need. The first thing you're going to need for this recipe is a shaker cup, and I'll show you why in just a minute. I'm just going to use the one I get from Keto Chow. You've probably got one of these laying around somewhere if you love Keto Chow like I do. And I've got the shaker ball in it, and I also have a little bit of water in there because I'm going to put my powdered ingredients in here first. And the first ingredient I'm putting in is L-theanine. And I'll leave links to all the products I use down in the description so you can easily go and get all these yourself. And this is just a really easy but effective recipe. So I'm going to take the lid off my shaker cup. I've got a 1/4 teaspoon right here because I can't find my 1/8, but I'm basically going to use half of this and go in with an 1/8 teaspoon of L-theanine. Now, what is L-theanine, you might ask? Well, L-theanine is an amino acid. It's mainly found in green tea, and it promotes relaxation, stress reduction, and it enhances your alpha brain waves so that you're really calm. And there's not really any allergies or interactions to speak of with this. But if you're going to use any kind of herbal supplement, vitamin, mineral, or whatever, you need to get this book. It's the A to Z Guide to Drug, Herb, and Vitamin Interactions. And I'll put a link to this down below as well, but it's worth the $12 or $13 that it costs. Just because they sell something in the vitamin shop doesn't mean it's safe and that it'll interact right with all your medications. So make sure you pick this up. And anytime I talk about vitamins and herbs, I'll always recommend just to make sure it doesn't interact with anything that you may be taking. The second ingredient we're going to use is ashwagandha. Now, ashwagandha is an adaptogen, and if you want to know more about that, I'll link my video about herbs that might help you in the ketogenic diet somewhere up here. But ashwagandha was used in Ayurvedic medicine, which is ancient Indian medicine, one of the oldest systems of medicine in the world. Ashwagandha helps lower your cortisol levels, it makes for restful sleep, and it reduces stress. Now, some people that take this might have a little bit of digestive issues to begin with until you get used to it. It also may make you a little bit sleepy, which is kind of what this drink is all about, right? So is that a side effect? I don't know. Maybe you don't want to drink this first thing in the morning. Now again, consult the book, but if you're taking any kind of thyroid medication, you may want to avoid this or talk to your doctor about it at the very least. So I'm going in with 1/8 of a teaspoon of this also. And as you move along, you might try to experiment a little bit, maybe put a little bit more of something that aligns with what you're trying to achieve in this drink. You can play around with it a little, but this is a great base recipe. I've tried all kinds of different combinations, but I figured using the 1/8 of a teaspoon for just about everything in this makes it super easy to remember. The next ingredient is lemon balm powder. And all these are powdered, by the way, because you want them to easily dissolve in this drink. Unless you like chunky drinks, but I wouldn't recommend it. So lemon balm is a member of the mint family, so obviously if you have any mint allergies, you may want to avoid this or at least just try a little bit to see how it reacts. But this is a mild sedative. It kind of calms anxiety, improves your mood, and can help you sleep without a bunch of heavy sedation, kind of like what alcohol does. It doesn't really interact badly with a lot of the other herbs, but if you're taking any kind of other sedative type herb, which is basically what this is a mixture of, you might want to be cautious, but I have baked that into this recipe, so don't worry. And so again, 1/8 of a teaspoon of that, or 1/2 of a 1/4. I really need to get some more measuring spoons. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I didn't really read the directions about how you're not supposed to put these wooden handled things in the dishwasher. And so I've got this action going on all the time now. It goes down, it goes back up. I might have to get some more measuring spoons I can see. And then the next ingredient we're gonna use is some magnesium glycinate. Now these are not pills, but I take my powder and put it in this bottle just so I know what it is, and it's a whole lot easier than messing with a bunch of bags. And you can either use magnesium glycinate like I am, or you can use malate, either way. Now magnesium is one of our essential electrolytes, so you probably have some of this stuff on hand anyway, if you make your own electrolytes like I do. So magnesium just helps your muscles relax, it supports your nerve function, helps ease tension so that you get better sleep in combination, especially with all these other things that I'm putting together in this recipe. If you don't know already, with magnesium, if you overdo it, you're gonna be jumping up in the middle of the night and running to the bathroom instead of getting the restful sleep that you want. Start slow with magnesium. So that's why I'm going in with 1/8 of a teaspoon, and you can adjust that as well if you find you need a little bit more. So the combination of all these things work together synergistically to promote relaxation and great sleep without being like a heavy sedative or like just knocking you out with a hammer like alcohol can do. But we're not done yet. I've got one final ingredient, which is the main ingredient in this drink. And that ingredient is kava root powder. Now I'm gonna put all this to the side for right now. We're gonna mix that up to make the final drink. But to make this, there's a couple different ways you can do it. Traditionally, it's done in a bag, and you would put some of this in a bag, put it in some water, and kind of knead it with your hands to get what's called the kava lactones out of it. But someone has come up with an easier way to do this, and it is awesome. So this is the Aluball Kava Maker, and of course I'll put links down below to it. It has this little screen ball that you put your kava in, screw it together, and then you shake it up. So I'll show you how that works. Now I would recommend with kava starting with 1 tablespoon of this at a time. Now you could have up to 3 of these drinks a day and still be below the 250 milligrams of kava lactones that's suggested to prevent any kind of liver damage or anything like that. It's a very, very rare thing that promotes liver damage, and mostly in people that drink the stuff all day long and in excess amounts. If you do even 2 or 3 of these a day before bed, you should be okay, but if you have any concerns about your liver or anything like that, please consult your doctor before you use this. And normally I'll do 2 tablespoons of this at a time, but when you start using this, I'd recommend 1 tablespoon just to see how you react to it. You screw this together, and it has these little screens in there, and basically what happens when you shake this up, the water hits that kava, slams it up against the side of this ball, and releases all that kava lactone in there. And since kava is a root, you don't get any of those pieces of root in your drink that are hard to digest. Now what is kava? Like I said, it's extracted from roots. It's traditionally used in the South Pacific Islands. You can also get kava extract in dropper form if you don't want to go through all this. And you can leave a comment if you want to use that, and I'll try to help you figure out what the dosage would be of that. It reduces anxiety, it promotes a calming feeling, and it just relaxes your entire mind and body. And if you're using alcohol to get drunk, you can't really get to that same state with this. It just super relaxes you. At least I've never had enough of this to get to that point. But if you use alcohol at the end of the night just to try to go to sleep, this is definitely gonna help. So all I'm gonna do here is drop this ball right into here. I'm gonna screw the top on. Make sure this top is tight because this is what you pour it out of. This comes off like that. So you wanna make sure that you put it on securely or you're gonna have kava flying everywhere. And you're just gonna shake this up for 60 seconds until all that kava is released in the water. If you'd like to see more videos like this, make sure you give me a thumbs up and let me and YouTube know that you like it, because I'd love to use some of my experience to make more videos like this in the future. And although the kava works really, really well, there's nothing like a nice little workout before bed to get you nice and tired as well. There's also a micronized kava, which I would still use this for because it's still ground up roots. You still need to use the shaker ball with it, but it dissolves a little bit better in water. You're still gonna get the roots, which are hard to digest. So after a minute, I'm just gonna take this shaker, I'm gonna take the lid off that, and I'm gonna pour it up. Now, one thing about kava that you may find weird is as soon as you drink it, if you got good kava, your lips and your tongue are gonna get a little bit numb. That's how you know if you've got a good quality kava. If you don't get numb after the first sip or two, you've got the wrong kava. And I'll let you know what kind that I use. There's several different good sources for kava, but there's several bad ones out there too. So just check in the description, I'll put what I got down there. Unfortunately, I don't have any kind of discount code for you, but maybe in the future, if I have one, I'll add it right down there. Now, once this is done, it looks just like that. And one of the nice things and the cool things about kava is that it gets nice and frothy on the top. So then you just screw this on and give it a nice shake, and that incorporates everything right in there for you. And I'll show you what this looks like before I put in any flavoring. So that's what it should look like. Now, let me just tell you, this stuff tastes like dirt. I mean, it's a root, so what do you really expect out of it? So what I like to do is put in my own flavoring. These are my 3 favorites I've found so far for kava. This is the Stir Fruit Punch. There's 0 sugar in this. They're sweetened with stevia. They're really great. There's a couple options at Aldi as well, although my absolute favorite, the lemonade that works well in my electrolyte drink, does not work that well in this. You really need something kind of fruity. So either like this one, the strawberry watermelon, the blue and blackberry, or there's a fruit punch that they have at Aldi and a berry flavor at Aldi as well. Today I'm gonna use the fruit punch. So I'll just open this back up. I'm going in with 3 squirts of this. And you can adjust your flavoring however you like it. And so then just make sure the lid's on good and give this a nice shake. Another interesting thing about kava, unlike alcohol or cannabis or some of the other things where usually the more you drink or the more you intake, the more used to it you get, this actually has a reverse tolerance. So a less amount of this will get you the same effect. Once the kava lactones are built up in your body, you'll need less and less of this to get the same effects. So that's pretty cool. And for a lot of people, one of the things about alcohol is just the ritual of it. It's just something that you get in the habit of doing every day, whether it does anything for you or not. So I've kind of made it like a ritual for myself. I'll take my copper Moscow Mule mug, say that 3 times fast. Give this a good shake. And pour it right in. That foam is how you know you got the good stuff. I mean, look at that. And I'm filming this in the middle of the day, so there's a good chance I might just take a little nap in a few minutes. I would say this is an acquired taste, but I'm used to this every night. And there's that numbness. Hopefully I'll be able to make it through the rest of this video. If you're looking to improve your relationship with alcohol and you just need something to help you sleep a little bit, I really hope this will help you. It's become a part of what I do just about every day now, and it's a whole lot healthier option than what I'd been doing. If you want more information about herbs and how they can help you on your keto diet or life in general, then make sure you click this video right over here.